Hey everyone, TJ here. Surprise, surprise, going solo. Uh, given the current coronavirus situation, uh, thought we'd do some solos here for a week or two. Perhaps when all this craziness passes, we'll return to our preferred group format. I would just like to ask everyone rhetorically at this time, in a nutshell, how long as a society can we sustain this insanity? I mean, when do we cry uncle? So many businesses are closed. People aren't working. They're laid off. Yes, I know people are dying from coronavirus, but we're killing our society. And I'm starting to get worried about not just that we're killing our society, but it seems like too many people are okay with the killing of our society. I'm concerned, or I'm convinced that the elites are pretty much less affected than us average Joes. They're independently wealthy, so they can weather this. You're hearing stories about some of the politicians still getting food from their favorite restaurants. One politician still getting her hair done. I'm wearing my hat because I'm about 2 weeks past a haircut right now. Tucker Carlson, in one of his rants last week, pointed out that as he was watching the clip of the press briefing, no one was wearing surgical masks. If it was so deadly and dangerous, why weren't they all, in the presence of the president, wearing surgical masks? I suspect, and this irritates me, I suspect the Democrats are cheering this on from the sidelines. Our own Governor Whitmer, she initially refused the use of hydroxychloroquine, and another Democrat state representative here became violently ill with the virus, and she took the hydroxychloroquine, and she recovered. And she had come out and was doing testimonials that it was her belief that hydroxychloroquine had saved her life. And as other reports of similar recoveries began to surface, now it appears Governor Whitmer's done a 180, our great governor here in Michigan. I'm still waiting for someone to explain to me how the heck, why would they vote this woman into office? It frustrates. It's so frustrating to me. I'm speechless. The supposed cure is scaring me more than the actual coronavirus, along with the fact that the public seems, okay, this is how we got to live. That ought to concern everybody. So you got the people out there that aren't working. They expect the nanny government to come save them. Okay, I know for a fact unemployment has become so swamped that they're behind. In this area here, I know of one person in particular where her unemployment arrived 4 days late. So, and that individual was pretty worried. I guess you would be if you were in need of that money, but 4 days late. Fortunately, I'm still working. In my line of work, I've often sarcastically said the criminal element always keeps me employed. That's my job security. I mean, there's always bad guys out there. You keep hearing reference to the famous Rahm Emanuel quote, "Never let a serious crisis go to waste." That's why I think this is the Democrats stupid to a new low. Never let a serious crisis go to waste. Rush Limbaugh, he, in one of his shows last week, cited a statistic that you have a 98% chance of surviving the coronavirus. And while I tried to find where he got that statistic from, I would just say this. he's the most fact-checked person on the radio, so that's good enough for me. I certainly have not found any press or liberal mentioning of him being wrong. So I'm going to assume that statistic is correct. People die every day. That's a sad fact of life. They die in sporting accidents. They die shoveling snow. They die in automobile accidents. I have a greater chance of dying on the streets of Detroit tomorrow than I do of this coronavirus. Just driving to and from work is dangerous, where I got to drive through parts of Detroit and employ what I call urban combat driving. People running red lights, and they have no qualms. They run red lights, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to get killed. And it's just another sign of societal decay. What can I tell you? People have become so accustomed with the nanny state coming to the rescue, whatever the cause, whatever is happening. People are just used to the nanny state not letting. We must prevent these deaths. We must. Well, then you know what? If it's preventing death, then don't drive your car. Like I said, I've quit listening to quit listening to the radio. Quit watching television. I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued with the whole thing. I've been listening to YouTube and streaming music a lot. I love music. It's been my refuge during this time of insanity. Been watching a lot of computer YouTube videos. I'm starting to learn quite a bit about YouTube. Who'd ever thought that it might be possible that someday I could know as much about computers as I do guns? If you know me, how's that even possible? Well, it's this nonsense that's made that possible. The moral of this sad tale is pretty obvious, the necessity of good personal hygiene. Okay? How many times have we heard it said, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands? I see people wearing the surgical masks. Okay, that's great. Wear your surgical mask. Are you decontaminating your hands before you take that surgical mask off? Or if you're wearing gloves, are you taking those gloves off before you remove the surgical mask? And then are you throwing them away, disposing of them properly, and then using a new sanitized set? Because if you're not, then you're accomplishing nothing, okay? When I was in the Army, they made a big deal of good personal hygiene, okay? The necessity of good personal hygiene to stay alive, So that's it. I've ranted. Thanks for letting me vent. Maybe next time I'll rant some more. As we say at the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, wash your hands, watch your six, and don't tread on me with any of that coronavirus.